buzz, con man.
Yeah, Chiefs are still the Chiefs because these gosh darn refs are wearing
Whoa,
KC
whoa.
jerseys, basically. Yeah.
No.
Basically, the referees they'll never admit they're wrong. Like, even the guys that get paid all the bucks.
What I would like to think, they bailed them out of some games. Many of times.
Some games, the refs are helping them. Yes. Some games, divine intervention is just beaming down on them.
What if I told you the NFL's golden boy isn't just winning games? He might be getting a little extra help along the way. Patrick Mahomes, the superstar who makes the impossible look routine, might not just be outplaying defenses. He might have the league itself giving him a nudge. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on what might be the NFL's worst-kept secret. From questionable calls to suspiciously favorable narratives, we're diving into the accusations that have fans, analysts, and even players raising their eyebrows. So, let's get started. The internet is flooded with claims that the Chiefs get special treatment, Mahomes is protected, and somehow the most controversial calls always seem to go Kansas City's way. Now, this isn't just some wild conspiracy theory whispered among bitter fan bases. It's a growing sentiment across the league. Let's rewind. In 2018, Patrick Mahomes didn't just step onto the scene. He took the league by storm. His first full season, a mind-blowing 5,097 yards and 50 touchdowns. For context, Brady's first season as a starter, 2,843 yards, 18 touchdowns. Manning's 3,739 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 28 picks. Mahomes wasn't just great, he made history look easy, but it wasn't just the stats. It was how he played. No look passes, sidearm lasers, impossible comebacks. He turned chaos into art. By season's end, he had the Chiefs at 12-4 and in the AFC Championship, a meteoric rise, almost too perfect. Mahomes was already a generational talent by 2018, but what happened next? Was his rise to dominance purely his own doing, or did the NFL play a role in molding its next superstar? The league isn't just football, it's a multi-billion-dollar spectacle, and nothing drives ratings like a superstar. Mahomes is electric, marketable, and impossible to ignore. The perfect face for primetime games, jersey sales, and the NFL's next dynasty. And let's be real, this isn't the first time the league has nudged a dynasty into existence. Remember the 2001 Tuck Rule game? That one blown call turned Brady from a feel-good underdog into the Patriots' dynasty architect. Fast forward to today, and the Chiefs' rise feels oddly familiar. Since Mahomes took over, they've dominated the AFC, 7 straight title games, 5 Super Bowls appearances, and 3 rings. The Patriots built their dynasty on grit and meticulous preparation. The Chiefs? Their journey feels scripted. The league needed a new king after the Patriots faded. Enter Mahomes, a generational talent with a rocket arm tailor-made for the modern NFL. But here's where things get messy. Kansas City consistently gets the right call at the right time. Mahomes is undeniably great, but the Chiefs always seem to have luck, and the refs on speed dial. So, is Mahomes truly the best of his era, or is the NFL making sure he stays on top? TV ratings are through the roof, stadiums are packed, his jersey sales, astronomical. But how far would the league go to protect its golden boy? Because when you zoom in, the game looks different. The flags, they fall when Kansas City needs them. The rules, they flex just enough to fit Mahomes' style. It's like watching a magic trick where the strings are barely hidden, and fans are noticing. The NFL isn't just letting it happen, they're leaning into it. The Chiefs aren't just a dynasty, they're a product of a league that knows how to blend competition with entertainment, sport with spectacle. Still not convinced? Let's break it down. The 2022 AFC Championship, that phantom whistle, not their first rodeo. Rewind to the 2020 AFC title game against the Titans. Kansas City was in control, but Tennessee was fighting back. The first controversial call came in the third quarter. Just as the Titans snapped the ball, a flag was thrown almost instantly, leaving fans in disbelief. How could the referees assess the play and make a decision that quickly? It felt less like a reaction to what happened and more like a call that was predetermined. Coincidence? Maybe. Pattern? Definitely. Mahomes is phenomenal, but the question remains, is he winning on talent alone, or is the NFL making sure its MVP always shines brightest? But the real dagger came in the fourth quarter with 3:51 remaining. Titans down 11, Chiefs facing 3rd and 10. Kansas City needed a big play to ice the game. Mahomes launched a deep ball, tight coverage, no clear interference, and yet, flag. The call? Defender didn't turn his head to play play the ball. But slow motion replays told a different story. The coverage was clean. Instead of forcing a punt, the Chiefs got a fresh set of downs. Game over, fast forward 2 years. New team, same story. The 2022 AFC Championship against the Bengals was a referee's greatest hits album. The Chiefs got break after break, and Cincinnati could only watch in disbelief. It all started with a bizarre 3rd and 9 situation. The Bengals defense got the stop, only for the refs to announce after the play was over that it didn't count due to a clock error.
Chucking him at the line with it.
The ball was set, the play was shut down. The clock should not have started. Please reset the game. 10 minutes, 24 seconds.
Kansas City got a redo, a mulligan, a second chance out of nowhere. The most glaring moment came late in the game. As Mahomes scrambled to put the Chiefs in position for the game-winning field goal, sharp-eyed fans caught not 1, but 2 blatant holding violations by Kansas City's offensive line. Yet the refs let them slide. Moments later, Bengals linebacker Joseph Asai was flagged for a late hit as Mahomes stepped out of bounds, gifting the Chiefs prime field position for the decisive kick. But that wasn't the only controversy. Throughout the game, a series of questionable calls tilted momentum in Kansas City's favor. A dubious intentional grounding penalty on Joe Burrow, a missed roughing the passer call, and a blatant block in the back on a crucial punt return. One missed call might be bad luck, but this felt like a pattern. The fallout was ugly. Bengals players were livid. Fans erupted online. Analysts questioned if the game had been handed to Kansas City. Was it just bad luck for Cincinnati? Or was the script already written? And if the Titans and Bengals felt robbed, the Eagles might have a case for grand larceny. Super Bowl 57, Chiefs versus Eagles. Tied at 35, less than 2 minutes left. Everyone knew what was coming. Set up the field goal, drain the clock, walk off as champions. Then the moment. 3rd and 8. Mahomes fires to Juju Smith-Schuster. Incomplete. The Eagles defense holds. Or so they thought. Boom. Flag. Holding on James Bradbury. Automatic first down. The Chiefs milk the clock, kick the game winner, and the confetti falls. Just like that, the Eagles' hopes vanish. Not on a touchdown, but a whistle. Did Bradbury tug the jersey? Yeah, but let's be real. This kind of grab happens all game without a call. Even NFL legends were split. If you let borderline plays slide for 58 minutes, you don't suddenly grow a conscience with the Lombardi Trophy on the line. That's not just inconsistent, it's game altering. And if that level of contact was enough to warrant a flag in the closing moments of a game this massive, then where was that same energy for the countless other borderline plays that went uncalled? Fast forward to Super Bowl 58. New year, same story. This time it was the 49ers in the hot seat, clinging to a late lead. The stakes? Monumental. The officiating? Questionable. Again, Nick Bosa, one of the scariest pass rushers in the game, was mugged on a crucial 3rd quarter play. Chiefs offensive lineman had him in a full-on embrace, and yet, no flag. Mahomes got the ball out, moved the chains, and kept the drive alive. But wait, it gets better. 4th quarter, 3rd and 10. Bosa fights through a block, eyes locked on Mahomes, and then another blatant hold, another no call. Mahomes escapes, first down. On the very next play, another clear as day hold. Again, the refs pretend they didn't see a thing. And here's the kicker. Since Mahomes took over, the Chiefs have played in 5 Super Bowls. Wanna guess how many holding penalties they were called for in the first 4? 0. It wasn't until Super Bowl 59 that they finally got flagged for 1. 4 full championship games without a single holding call? In a league where offensive linemen basically live in the gray area? You tell me, coincidence or something else? In a league where offensive linemen practically invent new ways to hold, that kind of perfection isn't just rare, it's impossible, unless of course the refs aren't looking. Playoffs, please. The Chiefs get these calls all year. If you think this is just a playoff thing, buckle up. The Chiefs' luck with officiating isn't just a postseason perk, it's an every week kind of deal. Take week 4 of the 2023 season. Chiefs versus Jets. Tight game. Mahomes throws what should have been a game-changing interception, but then flag. Defensive holding on Sauce Gardner. Replay showed barely any contact, but that was enough to wipe away the pick and hand Mahomes another shot. The Chiefs drained the clock and walked away with the win. A week later, week 5. Chiefs versus Vikings. Another sketchy call in the final moments. Noticing a pattern? Because at this point, it's impossible not to. So what's really going on? Are the Chiefs just incredibly disciplined, or is there something more at play? One thing's for sure, when the game is on the line, the flags always seem to fly in one direction. Let's set the stage. Vikings versus Chiefs. Fourth quarter, 4th and 12. Kirk Cousins drops back and fires to Jordan Addison in the end zone, only for him to be straight up mugged by L'Jarius Sneed. The refs throw a flag for defensive pass interference, then pick it up, no foul, and it gets worse. Sneed, clearly feeling invincible, rips off his helmet mid-play, a blatant penalty. The refs, no consequences, no calls. Just another day in the life of Kansas City's Golden Boys. Coincidence? Maybe. But let's fast forward to 2024, where the same old story keeps playing out. Down late in the fourth, the Chiefs are staring at 4th and 16 against Cincinnati. Patrick Mahomes launches one to Rashee Rice. Bengals defender Dijon Anthony barely makes contact. Flag, pass interference. Chiefs keep the ball. Technically, was it PI? Sure. But here's the problem. Similar plays against the Chiefs don't get called. Case in point, week 3 versus the Falcons. Atlanta is inside the Chiefs' red zone, 3rd and 5, when Kyle Pitts gets absolutely manhandled by Brian Cook. Clear as day. Cook grabs Pitts' arm, yanks him back. No flag. The Falcons should have had 1st and goal at the 1. Instead, they turn it over on downs and lose. Starting to see the pattern, but wait, there's more. Week 9, Chiefs 30, Buccaneers 24. In overtime, Chiefs tackle Jawan Taylor clearly moved early on a 2nd and 5 at the Buccaneers' 6-yard line. Yet no flag was thrown. Instead, Patrick Mahomes found Travis Kelce for a 4-yard gain, and Kansas City scored the game-winning touchdown on the very next play. If the false start had been called, it would have set up 2nd and 11, potentially forcing Kansas City to settle for a field goal. That extra 4 points meant Tampa Bay never even got a chance in overtime. Arguably worse than the missed pass interference on Kyle Pitts. Week 13, Chiefs 19, Raiders 17. In the final moments of a close game, the Raiders were driving into field goal range when center Jackson Powers Johnson snapped the ball unexpectedly to an unready Aiden O'Connell. The ball hit the ground and Kansas City recovered. But here's where it got weird. Officials ruled it a backward pass and penalized Las Vegas for an illegal shift rather than a false start. Las Vegas was in prime position for a game-winning field goal, but instead the play resulted in a bizarre game-ending turnover. At what point do we stop calling this luck and start calling it something else? Let's talk business. The NFL doesn't just like Mahomes, they need him. The 2023 Super Bowl pulled in over 100 million viewers. Mahomes jerseys flying off the shelves like hotcakes in Kansas City. The Chiefs are a marketing goldmine, and the league is cashing in big time. So ask yourself this, is the NFL protecting Mahomes to keep the money flowing? Because right now, every controversial call seems to magically favor Kansas City. We love sports because they're real, but what happens when the refs start influencing the outcome? If fans believe the fix is in, the NFL's entire reputation is at risk. People aren't just watching for big plays, they're watching for fair competition. And right now, that's looking shakier than a rookie kicker in overtime. What's the solution? Some are calling for AI-assisted officiating to remove human bias. Others want accountability for refs who make game-changing mistakes. Whatever the fix, something has to change before the NFL turns into WWE with shoulder pads. Because if the Chiefs keep getting convenient calls, the league's integrity isn't just on the line, it's already been sacked. So what do you think? Is the NFL bending the rules for the Chiefs, or is this just one massive coincidence? Let us know in the comments. And if you're still hungry for some real unscripted football moments, it'll be a shame to miss our previous video, Gronk versus Kelce. Who is actually better?